All right, so let's talk a little bit now about Andrew Yang's Forward Party. I did a segment on this myself the night that the news broke that the Forward Party was merging with the Serve America movement and the Renew America movement. Most third parties have failed. Here's why ours won't. By David Jolly, Christine Todd Whitman, and Andrew Yang. These are the three co-chairs of this new Forward Party. This was an op-ed that was published in coordination with the press release.
That byline fills me with incredible confidence.
What's that? This one right here. Oh, you mean the byline? Sorry, I thought you said tagline. Sorry, no. I confused those terms. Here's the big takeaway line here. The United States badly needs a new political party, one that reflects the moderate common sense majority. Today's outdated parties have failed by catering to the fringes. As a result, most Americans feel they aren't represented. This absolutely raises some red flags here. I happen to like Andrew Yang quite a bit. I know that is somewhat of a minority opinion in this online left space. I think Andrew Yang is a guy who, thinks big. He has big ideas, and I think he means well. I honestly do feel that way. I'm not just saying that because my friend works for the Forward Party. I feel that way. The problem with Andrew Yang, in my opinion, is he doesn't strike me as a very politically minded person. That's why his mayoral campaign fell apart despite having a big lead. He doesn't strike me as a political guy. He strikes me as this sort of innovator, this entrepreneur, this thinker whose heart is in the right place. But the fundamental flaw in that op-ed is the assumption that the people who are in the market for a third party are in the market for a third party because they feel that the two major parties are too different. The reason people are in the market for a third party is because they feel the two major parties are too similar. The point of a third party is to appeal to people who feel that Democrats and Republicans are too similar, not that they are too different. And Yang is a guy who ought to know that and be able to express that forcefully, because his key issue, the UBI, is a perfect example of an issue that a new party can and should, in my opinion, since he's the guy running it, build itself around. Their motto, not left, not right, forward. Okay, fine. That's fine. I would prefer them to be further left than they are, but that's fine. Okay. UBI is a policy that is really neither left nor right. It's left in the sense that it is redistributive, obviously, because you're giving people cash every month. It's not left in the sense that it's not really based in any sort of labor actions that are going to directly threaten capitalist power. And so you could say it's not really a left position in that way, but it's certainly not a right-wing position either. So this is a perfect example of a policy that is not so much in the center. It's not halfway between the Democrat and the Republican Party. It's a policy that exists on a different spectrum altogether, and that's where the third-party energy is going to come from. Third-party energy is not going to come from Lincoln Project wannabes who feel like the right has gone too far to Trump and the left has gone too far to AOC. That's not where the energy for a third party is. And if they feel that way, that's just a fundamental design flaw that they're not going to be able to overcome. Christine Todd Whitman might feel that way. David Jolly might feel that way. I think Yang is smarter than that, whether he knows it or not. And this is why I say he's not a very political person, because I don't know if he can articulate that. I hope he can. I hope he learns to, because I think he means well. I think this forward idea shows some promise, but this op-ed ain't it, man. Like, this op-ed is a disaster.
Well, it was interesting that the op-ed avoided economics altogether. It exclusively brought up culture war issues. It exclusively brought up gun control, abortion, these things. It didn't talk about healthcare, it didn't talk about wages, it didn't talk about economics at all. I think if this party could do any good, it's in pushing ranked choice voting and that sort of thing. And because it seems like something where they're looking at trying to attract people like Mark Cuban, like Elon Musk, yeah, they might have enough money behind them to do that. But in terms of a party, you're going to wind up with the best case scenario. You're going to wind up with Macron. You're going to wind up with that. Is that really what we want? I mean, I won't put any time into anything like that. I certainly won't put any money into it. I won't urge other people to support it.
One really good thing about ranked choice voting is that because it will allow third parties to flourish, right, that we won't be stuck with this concentration of power and two large parties. And for example, like there might be some really good legislation in the House of Representatives, and because one woman decides she doesn't want people to vote on it, she blocks it. Same with Mitch McConnell in the Senate. Or, we were constantly running into these things where a really good piece of legislation will get almost there, and then one person will block it because they have unilateral control of the House or the Senate, right? And it's ridiculous. Like, if you go to Europe, you look at the parliament in England, and if the prime minister starts doing stuff like that, he's out, because there they have coalition governments where the Labour Party, the Green Party, will collaborate.
Sure. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Right. And so if a Speaker of the House starts playing games like that, she'll be kicked out.
Are you saying Nancy Pelosi is not going to bring a bill to the floor that stops her from insider trading? Are you suggesting that?
See, there's the thing is, I have a lot of Democratic friends, and I bring up, how corrupt she is. Well, you can't criticize her because the Republicans are way worse.
Not on that level. Not on that
Right.
level.
Not on that
They're
level.
the masters. They're the masters. You don't have all the meme stock people following Mitch McConnell's trades.
Right.
They're all following Nancy Pelosi's trades and piling into those trades because they're the closest you can get to a short thing. Look, right before she takes her trip to Taiwan, you watch. Paul Pelosi is going to take $5 million in options on Northrop Grumman.
Yeah, exactly.
He's going to divest from whatever airline she uses to get there, too.
Well, we really do. We need to.
That was a dark joke.
How's
that for dark humor? What's that?
I like that.
We need to decentralize the power. And, you go to the grocery store, you go to the produce department. Imagine if you went to the produce department and your choices were red delicious apples and, golden delicious apples. That's it. Or you only had choice between, Coke and Pepsi, and that was it, right? We go to the grocery store and we have these abundant choices we can make. We're not stuck with two choices. Yet for some reason, people think when they go to vote, they've only got two choices. Well, we should not think that way. We should have a choice between Democrat, Republican, Forward Party, Green Party, Libertarian Party, Peace and Freedom, Working Families. We should have
absolutely 100%.
We should have 10 different strong parties, not two.
Please clap.